Welcome back to the Real Estate Huddle, and we're on episode 128 today. And today we're going to be talking about something that homeowners don't think of a whole lot. And most homeowners don't even think about concrete until it becomes a problem in a real estate transaction. And what if I told you that cracked driveways can kill buyers' confidence during a real estate sale? Uneven sidewalks can become a liability issue sometimes. And the right concrete upgrades can actually boost your value and help you make more on the sale. And so today we're going to be breaking down what concrete projects actually make sense to do and which ones maybe don't. And then when it's actually time to replace versus just repair some concrete or possibly other solutions as well. And then how this can impact your resale in a very big way. So we are very fortunate today. We've got our special guest with us, Hector Romero, and we appreciate you joining us today. And you're from Concrete Solutions Limited.
That's correct.
That's your company?
That's correct. Concrete Solutions Ltd.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me and sharing the space with me.
Yep.
We're here to be at service and add any value we can.
And Hector's been a huge help for me in the past. You helped me build not only a basketball court in my backyard on my new house, but a huge walkway up the whole way, so I don't have to ram down a bumpy walkway with my lawnmower.
How are you guys enjoying that basketball court?
Oh, we love it. The kids are out there shooting all the time.
Never played
great.
Basketball. Now they play basketball.
Now they play with their left hand.
It's an investment Landon made. Well, NBA, WNBA. That's right. It's coming.
No, they get their shots up, which is
awesome.
good, but they also play with their crazy carts back there, and they're spinning around doing. My 5-year-old's just like Andretti out there with the crazy cart. So they're using it for all kinds of things, bikes, whatever. But it's been that flat work's been a really good thing for our family. So
no, thank you, Landon, for the opportunity and trust.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've sent you to tons of our clients too that have been super happy with you, and pricing can't be beat. You've been awesome, as far as that goes. So
you know what it is? We're just very consistent with our pricing, communication, quality. Our biggest thing is holding ourselves accountable. Especially like I was telling you earlier, we have in-house crews. We're not subcontracting nothing out, so that keeps schedules tight, costs low, and accountability.
Yeah. That's huge.
It's a lot easier to have accountability if you know the team that's working on everything too.
That's correct.
So that's awesome.
Do they know? Tell us a bit about how'd you get in the business?
So I'm actually second generation concrete contractor. I've been doing it for about 15 years. My dad has his own business as well.
Cool.
So ever since I was a teenager, I was out there, breaking concrete, just getting my hands dirty, and second generation concrete contractor.
That's awesome.
Look at the fist, man. They look like Wreck-It Ralph. They're just
No, not quite. But I think Chad's got bigger ones. From all the deals he closes on.
Well, yeah, the machinery is where it's at, right? But
Yeah.
you guys work hard. I've seen you at work, and it's it looks like a tough job, labor wise, but you guys work your butts off, and it pays off because the quality is amazing. We don't have, it hasn't even cracked, which you say when it's gonna crack, not if, right?
Cross
in Colorado, but it's still we just have our saw cracks that are intentional, but nothing
right on the joint.
Yeah, nothing that's come up. It's been a great court for us. So but yeah, no, that's awesome to learn a little bit about your history. That's cool that it's a family business. I think people love supporting locally owned businesses here. And is Concrete Solutions your company then?
Yeah, Concrete is just my company, and then my dad's company is Romero Concrete.
Okay, gotcha. So, cool. That's awesome.
You ever compete with them?
You know what? Funny you brought that up. I like to think that we don't. If anything, we collaborate. So whenever he gets too much work, we help each other out. It's not necessarily we're passing it on. It's more hey, here's a few of my guys. Here's a few of my guys. My dad's more of a lower scale. He's okay with doing 2 jobs a week. He's 60 years old. He's about to retire.
Yeah.
For me, I was more of, man, I really want to get out there for more residents, more communities. Because we also do commercial, industrial. We've had the privilege to doing Costco, Qualicare, Pepsi Cola. So we work with some big clients.
Yeah, that's huge. That's awesome. And do you guys do all residential, or do you do a little bit of commercial too?
I would say about 70% residential, 30% commercial.
Cool. That's awesome.
Commercial. So it's a good balance.
I love the guys that focus on residential because they're very useful for us. Because once they go commercial, sometimes you never hear from them again.
We love realtors. I mean, the biggest thing is you guys come as a big referral. When people are listing their homes, or when people are not able to sell the house like you were saying.
Yeah.
You brought a good point. My maybe because I'm a concrete guy, but I'm always looking at concrete, especially when I'm pulling up. When I bought my house,
Yeah.
I saw the concrete all cracked.
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't a big deal because we'll do it ourselves. But I think on a buyer's perspective, like, oh man, this is scary. How's the foundation?
Yeah.
How's the structure?
Their mind goes to that immediately.
It brings up a lot of other
Yeah.
issues, right?
Well, speaking of that, first impression, like how important is that when you're showing a house? You guys, what have you seen from your clients?
Walkways, the poured, like the poured steps that separate. Of course,
Yep.
it's usually the
Oh, yeah.
driveway you see first.
Or the other part that I see is like they got a nice sidewalk that goes around the side of the house, but it's all tipped in and sloping back into the house.
Yeah,
Pulling
I
towards
was gonna
us.
say slanting is usually a huge thing
Yep.
for buyers.
So I see that and I just sit back and I go, I'm gonna bring the flashlight and look for a foundation crack because
Oh, yeah.
that's been there for a while. The concrete's old and
Yeah.
you're tripping over things. It just doesn't boast confidence in like, okay, these people didn't take care of their place.
Totally.
So,
Yeah. Well, and we have 300 plus days of sunshine in the year, so people want to be outside enjoying their patios too.
Oh, yeah.
A lot, and if it looks like garbage, like it's tough to enjoy it.
I agree. You know what it is, Landon? Nowadays, people are not just buying a house; they're buying a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's beyond the square footage of the house. For example, outdoor living has become such a big impact. I'm sure, like you said it yourself, for your family,
Yeah.
the basketball courts created a lot of value.
Totally.
For other families, outdoor kitchens, outdoor fireplaces. It just creates a lot of value, and it doesn't have to cost thousands and thousands of dollars.
Right.
It's more about like the value you're bringing. If you have a 2,000 square foot home, it's a little tight in there, but you go outside, it feels so much bigger.
Yeah. For sure.
and we got such nice weather here, so
Oh, yeah.
I grew up in the Midwest where it's like mosquitoes and whatever else. You were 2 quarts. You tried to grill a burger, you're a quart low on blood because all the mosquitoes took it out of you. So
Yeah.
it's nice to have that.
It's true.
Right.
I always too when I look at garages that have the epoxy coating finished, that makes me feel like, wow, these homeowners have done that. If they've done that, then they've taken care of their house, because it's
Right.
only people that are kind of OCD do those sort of things. Yeah, like Brock.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
I know.
We talk about it a lot with other updates. It's the signals you send. And when you get ready to list, I think we're going to do another deep dive on that. But you send a signal to a potential buyer that I cared enough to blank.
Yep.
Take care of it in the first place, repair it after the fact.
Yeah, deferred maintenance in general, right? That always, some people, I'm sure when you bought your house, you looked at the concrete work and you're like, no big deal, right? You do that all the time.
Right.
But you have experience and knowledge in it. But for somebody who just looks at it and goes, I don't have no clue how much that's going to cost and why did it break?
Oh, yeah.
Right. That just shakes them. And the house could be a perfect fit every other way, but they're
But
going
that,
to.
we have situations where we've gone in there and broken out basements, R&R, remove and replace. The house is beautiful, the landscape's beautiful, but when you're walking on the carpet, you feel the uneven surfaces.
Yeah.
And it just raises alarms.
Totally.
Yeah.
This is moving, this is going to collapse.
Yep.
So I always recommend do a pre-inspection, with you, the professionals, recommend stuff. Get it done before you put it on the market, because you avoid a lot of back and forth,
Yeah.
negotiations,
A deal falling through.
the deal
Yep.
falling through,
Yeah.
thousands of dollars. Something that would cost $5,000, they deduct $20,000-$30,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're leaving money on the table.
And sometimes buyers magnify those problems. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's worth 3 times more than what the cost of replacement actually is.
Oh, yeah.
So that's very true. Well, let's talk about when it's a good time to repair something or when it's time to replace something. What are some of those red flags that are just okay, we need to replace this?
Brock brought a good one. When you have the sidewalk going towards the house, you want to take care of that immediately. Replacement is not always a solution. You could also do the poly lifting.
Yeah.
That's also a lot cheaper.
That formerly known as mud jacking.
Yeah.
Comment. Okay.
Mud jacking.
So do you do all those ancillary services?
So we don't do the mud jacking. We have partners that do that. Happy to refer. But when it's time to replace is when you have water going into your house, because then it creates a bigger issue.
Yeah.
Now you're dealing structural. Now you're dealing with tens of thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah. Not to mention water in your
Right.
house.
Yeah.
If
Those
it's
two are the worst, right? That's what we tell buyers to run from. Structural and water issue,
and then
recurring water issues.
water finds its ways.
Yeah.
Water finds its ways, and
It's a stubborn thing.
Oh yeah.
No.
You got then you're dealing with mold. You're dealing with other stuff as well.
It's a headache.
But yeah, I would say structural issues and cosmetic issues, you could get by.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to, yeah, I mean, you guys see this. What do buyers or what are they asking for more now? Is there something specific?
It's usually grading. We're grading more than anything,
Okay.
you know, and it's like grading is going towards the foundation. That's something that comes up quite a bit in inspection, whether it's the driveway, whether it's the inside the garage, whether it's a patio, sidewalks, you
Right.
know, whatever it is. But that's something that comes up pretty often.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty good at knowing, like, we're not all engineers, but some of us are, at knowing where the root issue, like when it's sloping towards the house, that's one thing. But if it's just the walkway, how often do we say, hey, look, we live in Colorado, stuff moves.
Yeah.
Right.
We say that a lot, and we mean it because it's mostly true, unless where you can see the evidence of the water getting
That's
in.
true.
Yeah.
So then we generate different gear. That's where we need to address.
Right. There's also some HOA communities that are very strict on cracked driveways, the chipping. I would say get on that before they're on your case and you're
Yeah.
getting all these fines.
That's
you
true.
know, it's always best to get your options versus you have to do it. You know, be ready for it.
Yeah, make a decision on your own timeline instead
Right.
of somebody else's.
Like
Yeah.
pushing you.
Yep.
If like backing out of the driveway, you need a chiropractic visit after that. That's probably a good time to
Yeah, you're
replace
right.
your driveway. Yeah.
Or if you need to put it on 4x4.
Yeah,
to get
exactly. 4-wheel drive to get up and over.
Off road it.
If you can't hit the garage apron just right, do you need four-wheel?
We're joking,
Or-
but somebody listening will resonate with that.
Yes.
Be like,
Or we didn't deal with this a lot, but snow plowing. You're snow plowing and boom.
Oh,
the cracks.
I've been harpooned a few times. So,
Have you?
Yeah, it's not a pleasant sight. So
it's a gut punch, man. You're not expecting it.
you're
Knocks
lucky,
the wind
you're
out of you.
lucky if it's the gut. Sometimes it's a little lower. So
Oh yeah.
That is true. Oh man. So once you notice some of those issues, like obviously you brought up a good point. Like there's mud jacking, or there's also poly.
The polyaesthetic. So
yeah,
similar,
polyaesthetic is
similar
just-
concept, just a different.
last longer,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, the
Different
results
material.
last longer.
Yeah.
So
Wait, I don't think they're that similar. Mud jacking, you're lifting it up to its old position.
You're right.
The other, you're,
filling it
but you're
underneath.
saying that is actually longer lasting?
I'll be honest, I'm not a true professional when it comes to that.
Okay.
But I know that it's, you know, instead of breaking it out, they drill holes and they get it back to the proper grade where water's flowing away, and it's not creating a trip hazard.
Yeah.
So in some situations, it makes more sense to do that than to rip it all out.
And some of the guys, like I talked to one yesterday actually that does like a 15-year warranty on their
On mud
poly.
jacking or
No,
the poly
stuff.
buildup? Okay.
Yeah, but the mud jacking is not. None of those guys are doing warranties on mud jacking. Typically, it's not like a long process.
Mud jacking's more like, I know it's more old school.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing more of the poly.
Well, you're not, unless you're dealing with the root cause, because you can always find the root cause, right?
Right. Right.
Unless you're addressing that, what's the point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in some cases, I think it makes sense to do that. What are some other cases where it makes more sense to do a repair based on the visual of what you see?
I would say ready to list, like we were saying. You don't want to leave thousands on the table for something that's going to not cost you that much.
Yeah.
Another thing would be something you got to be very mindful is all the chemicals they use for the snow, the ice melt, just starts to chip it off, and then it just keeps getting worse and worse.
Yeah,
So
the spalling, all
Yeah,
the
the
salt
spalling.
and everything. Yep.
What would you recommend doing just as like ready to list type of things?
I would say ready to list would be like visual stuff you could see, like trip hazards. You don't want anybody tripping on your listing. That would be a lawsuit, I would assume.
Yeah.
I hope not, right?
yeah,
But
hopefully it doesn't get to that, but
Or stubbing their toe, breaking their toe with sandals.
trip
or something.
hazards.
A lot of people wear Birks
They
here.
won't
So.
say it, they just won't buy.
They just won't buy. There you go. There you go. Trip hazards, visual stuff, driveways. The first thing you see if it's all cracked and unsettled. People like to move into houses that are ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, for me it wasn't a big deal because I do that kind of work, but for a lot of people they don't have somebody they could trust.
Yeah.
Patios. I think patios is a big thing, especially nowadays. Outdoor living has done, you know, you see these spaces, these big spots, fireplaces, all this stuff that you could do in your backyard, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
in Colorado, a wood deck doesn't really endure very well in our climate. So that's where the concrete really like adds to it because you can actually use it almost year round.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really nice. So
Just looks so much better too.
Yeah.
The thing with concrete maintenance is very, very low. You know, you're talking 20, 30 years if it's done right. I would recommend sealing it, especially with the saw, all that stuff. It's kind of like a clear coat on your car. It just slides right off. But yeah, maintenance is very, very low on concrete.
You can just seal it when you do it the first time, right? You
Yeah, I
have
would
to-
seal it.
Do you reseal it every so often?
Yeah, there's some sealers that last anywhere from 3 to 5 years. But yeah, I would keep up with that. It's fairly cheap to do as well.
The shoveling, the salt, after a point of time, it just breaks it down. I'm learning so much stuff. I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can reseal your poured concrete.
Yep. Yeah, you can reseal it. It definitely brings it back to life. It creates a protective layer, so the moisture doesn't continue to deteriorate it. So that's really recommended. And avoid using salt. You know, there's other alternatives like sand, kitty litter. Even though it says like it's good for concrete, it really isn't.
no, it breaks it apart.
Yeah.
So it's just better just to shovel it right away and be proactive about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
No,
just get rid of it.
that's
Buy a
it.
house that's not north facing.
There you go. That's
If you have one, call us. We'll sell it for you. And then
that's a good point.
Buy a
Summer,
south facing.
we'll sell it in the summer.
West is best. Yep. So what, like, let's talk about the just the day to day of real estate of like what makes sense. What are some things that like buyers really hesitate about in the market? Obviously, bad concrete, that creates buyer hesitation and really lowers offers, for people because it's just that first impression that really out the gate can throw the sale in the wrong direction. So
And everybody hears the horror stories of, it costs X amount of, hundreds of thousands of dollars to replace this stuff. And everyone's got that like anchor point that's really, really high, when in reality, there's other people that can do it better.
Oh, yeah.
So, and we hear that with plumbers and some other things, and there's a couple companies that, have been known for that.
Totally.
And yes, they have really good service, but that $8,000 water heater could really cost you $2,500.
Yeah.
So it's the same type of thing. So
Right.
knowing what that is, but also the anxiety of like having to deal with contractors. Some people just get overwhelmed by it.
And
So-
I think it's like we have things that you can do for home prep that would be like playing offense, which is like carpet, paint, cosmetics, stuff like that. That's going to make you money when you put it in, right? You'll spend $1 to make $2 or $3 in some cases. But concrete's like defense to me. Like you spend money on concrete, a $5,000 to $10,000 project on concrete can save you $15,000 in negotiations lost, or wigging a buyer out because of water issues or structural issues down the road. Like those are the things that I think concrete, doing those projects up front make a ton of sense if it could be a deal killer for a buyer.
I actually had some clients who, like, they grew up in Colorado, and we went looking around at some homes, and we were looking up in the Thornton area, and there was lots of homes with just broken driveways and uneven, concrete everywhere. And we went to this one home where they had poured a new garage floor, a new driveway, a patio, all the sidewalk. They're like, oh, wow. I can tell they put a lot of money into this, and their whole perspective on the home, like it was not their favorite initially out of the gate, but it just completely shifted when they got there. But driveway, garage, patio, all sidewalks, and a step patio up front. I mean, that's a heck of an investment to do, and it really changed their perspective. So,
No, and I'm glad you brought that up, Rock, because concrete is the first thing that goes in. Whether foundations, the building goes up. For landscaping purposes, you do a patio and you start getting ideas. Okay, the patio's here. I could put a flower bed over there. I could put a shed over there. It starts to look more completed. When we do a lot of pool decks as well. The pool deck, you see the hole in the middle. Until we do the concrete deck around it, it just comes all together.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really seals it up.
it defines the space.
Yep.
Are you seeing, because you guys are doing some cool flat work projects with like patios and like built-in grills and stuff. When
yeah.
people are doing fireplaces, are they usually wood-burning fireplaces outdoors?
It depends on the space. If it's
Okay.
close enough to a gas line, we like to recommend gas, but if not, wood.
Okay.
Keep it old school, traditional, easy as well.
Hear
You're
the
doing like-
crackling.
Classic brick oven pizzas out there.
Oh,
where
yeah.
they can, yeah.
That'd be sick. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we're starting to make that shift as a company. So we work with urgency and purpose, and we got some new team members. They know how to do the work, and we started incorporating that as well, just to make it easier for the customer. They're dealing with one person, they're dealing with one timeline. They're not like, hey, let me check on the landscaper, see what they're doing, or because oftentimes we were stalling on other people. oh, the landscaper still needs to come and do this, or vice versa. Now it's like, no, we'll do the complete job for you guys.
Okay.
Do you do anything with concrete curbing?
Yep. Yeah, so we do concrete curbing on a residential standpoint, and we also do it on a commercial standpoint to get water drained away.
Cool. So here's a checklist. Homeowners, listen up. Okay. If you are a homeowner and you have visible cracks bigger than a 1/4 inch on your concrete anywhere, call Hector. If you're a homeowner and you have any areas uneven or sinking, especially sinking into your foundation walls, call Hector.
Call a solution.
Okay? Don't call Saul, call Hector.
There you go.
Also, if water pools, like just ponds near your home in any spot on your concrete, I would call Hector. And then,
Landon.
yeah, and then would this stand out to a buyer walking up? So if you can ask yourself, like, yes, would this be an eyesore or something that a buyer would be like, ooh, that looks kind of odd or weird? Call Hector. If it has to do with concrete, there's other weird things too.
Conversation, let's just call them anyway.
People paint their doors fuchsia sometimes. Don't call Hector for that. But if it's concrete related, definitely call Hector because it can alleviate a concern that a buyer would have that would really throw things south, when you go to sell. And you may as well do it now and enjoy it because Hector's going to do it right. So you can actually enjoy it for a while and not have another disaster, from a trip hazard. If you're tripping every time you walk up to your front porch, call Hector.
Yes.
There's another one for you. But yeah, no, I think this is some good stuff. Lots of reasons to call and just do a little self-check on your house, see if your concrete's in good shape, or if you just want to create a really cool entertainment spot in the backyard that you can enjoy with your friends. That's a good thing to do too.
You hit the nail on the head, Hector, when you said, "Hey, $5,000 to $10,000 now could save you $20,000 to $30,000 in the negotiations." Because when it's an emotional decision charged by not knowing the anxiety of the concrete work and like that instability of what else is loose in the house or is it not structurally sound, that whole thing can just create an emotional swirl that just cut it off beforehand and just be done.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree. Especially with concrete, it's such a big ticket item that it's not like paint, right? Oh, change the color to black, not a big deal.
Yep.
So with concrete, I would rather get it addressed beforehand than them having to tell you, hey, we need it done. And now they're pulling, some contractors are like, hey, they need it done. It's going to be X amount more.
Yeah.
They're marking it up versus you're doing it on your own time, your own terms. And you're enjoying it as well.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and I think that if you're a homeowner listening and you're like, I actually don't know if my house if my concrete looks weird, if it would turn off a buyer or not, then call us. We'll take a look at it and see if it would be something that would turn someone away, or if it would be something that would be acceptable to a buyer. And sometimes those things can be overlooked if you have enough curb appeal on your house. But you got to look at the overall picture, or shoot us a picture and we can look at it and tell you I would call Hector.
No, thank you, Landon, Brock, and Chad, Gabby as well. At the end of the day, we're here to be at service and add value. Mm-hmm. Some of these yards we're doing, there's no need to vacation. You got Cancun in your backyard. You got Miami. It's so much crazy what you could do out there. You know what I mean? At the end, we're here to be at service.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
If you have any questions about the real estate value, give us a call. If you have a direct need for concrete, we'll post Hector's information below here on the description, so you can reach out to Hector directly as well. And we really appreciate you taking the time to be on here with us today.
Humbled and honored to do so. Thank you all.
Awesome. Thanks. We'll catch you on the next episode.